Hi guys, Editor Tuna here. Just want to apologise for the jump cuts in this coming video. As you can probably tell, I'm still pretty sick, so we had a few coughs and snuffles in there, but I hope you enjoy. Hi guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Nightcall. This is episode number 4 and Nightfall coming up. So as you remember from yesterday's episode, we managed to lose one of our suspects. His alibi was proven. So let's go and have a look at these clues that we have here and see what more we get today. So some of you may notice that I'm now wearing the same shirt 2 days in a row. Now I'm back-to-back recording to try and play catch up. So we are heading here to our the records. I'm not going to lie, I was surprised by your request. She lights a cigarette. She still has that cold, distant look about her. But you know it's just a facade. You don't smoke anymore? No, I'm trying to quit. She has trouble articulating with the cigarette in her mouth. Good luck with that. I just can't manage. She runs her hand through her hair. Her wedding band shines in the street lamp. You're freezing. Listen, I'm sure you know I'm not allowed to give you this kind of information. But if what you said was true, then you get the impression she's reaching for your side. You have any information for me? Yes. Sorry. Of course. I fished around and the first 3 victims were not part of the data leak. Shit. Shit indeed. That means the information about Besson, Wugron and the Argentinian one. Sugar. Yes, that's it. Sugar. It all came from someone who had access to their criminal records. That help? You attempt to smile. Yes, it's better than nothing. A moment of silence. Helene takes a drag of her cigarette. Like there's no tomorrow, she paces to warm herself up a bit. You should come over sometime. What do you think? You grin. You and Helene used to sleep together when things with her husband weren't so good. That wouldn't be a good idea. She turns her head away in a soft graceful motion. Of course, I don't know why. She looks deep into your eyes. You look down. Her hands are shaking. One last smile. She puts the cigarette out. I've got to run. Need a taxi? That's very kind of you, but Bruno's going to pick me up in a little while. Good luck. She reaches out to you affectionately, then stops. You decide to cross the street to put some distance between you as quickly as possible. You get into your cab and rub your hands together. Time to get back to your shift. So that gives us a pretty big clue and sort of confirms in my head what I thought it was originally. But we shall see what else we find over the next 3 nights. So we're heading over to the last victim's building. Charles Bawan Ferrier was killed in his parking garage. It's firmly closed. So we'll look for an entrance. Hey, what are you doing? This is private property. Turn around and see a rather elderly man, probably the concierge. He shines his flashlight in your direction. I'm lost. Lost? You think I'm a fucking idiot? Go, get out of here or I'm calling the cops. You leave the lobby, the concierge follows you and checks to make sure the door is firmly shut behind you. If I see you lurking around again, I'm calling the cops. You make your way back to your cab. Glance back at the building, the furious concierge is gone. Settling behind the wheel, short of breath. That did not pay off then. We lost that clue. Let's go and do some taxi work, shall we? Out of nowhere you hear a voice whispering in your ear. This is where I died. You brake hard. There is no noise in the cab, no noise outside. A silhouette appears on the back seat of the cab. Its feature appears one by one as if drawn with a paintbrush. So much suffering. You squint. A little boy. Would you be so kind as to drive me? Where? Well, very well. Let us drive then. The boy's silhouette flutters for a moment, then disappears entirely. You hold your breath. On the back seat behind you, the boy slowly reappears. You start driving. Elise Palace. A bit late for a visit? About now. He should be in the silver room. It's his favourite one. He died there. And what will you talk about? The president is very lonely. He loves having people around and often invites them over. Sometimes we have tea. A smell fills the car. Our cups remain empty, of course. The initially pleasing odour quickly becomes overwhelming. Some nights, the other Elise goes straight in. A charming man who's missing half his head. Gunpowder, you grip the steering wheel. How does a kid like you get invited? You know, the president is famous in Paris. Everyone heard about his death. A crooked little grin. People come far away to meet him. Some nights, there's a long line of impatient guests waiting in front of the palace. The president likes to joke about his unfortunate demise. Enough time has passed. It's delightful. Actually, he doesn't like to tell the story when I'm around. He says I'm too young. He forgets that I'm over 200 years old. Or perhaps he thinks that I don't know the meaning of the word fellatio. His face flutters. When you think about it, it's a funny word. He rolls the syllables over his tongue. Fellatio. More importantly, what a funny way to die. We're almost there. Pull over here. I don't want to be seen. Our world is just pretentious as yours. By the time you pull over, the back seat is empty. Your chin itches. You sigh. Ghostly encounter. Why not? We'll go back to our original pasture now. A beautiful woman climbs into your cab. There's something sensual and comforting about her. No, I just missed it. But don't worry, I'm taking a cab. Anyhow, I just want you to know. For a minute you think she's talking to herself, but she leans over and whispers her address to you. I think he really enjoyed it today. As you start the cab, you notice a hands-free headset practically hidden by her thick head of hair. I'll massage his feet tomorrow, and I'll let you do the rest. A small laugh escapes her. Or the other way round. Sure. And, Cruz, it's normal to feel a little awkward at first. Uncomfortable. I mean, not knowing what to do. But you'll see. A couple more days and you'll get the hang of it. Anyhow, you should get to bed now. You need to keep up with strength. She stopped talking. Her phone call is over. She catches your eye in the rearview mirror and bursts out laughing. You look shocked. It's none of my business. Well, actually, it is a little, seeing as I was rude enough to make a call in your cab. So, just so everything's perfectly clear, it wasn't a booty call. I was talking about my son, I've been taking care of him since his accident. I'm a nurse. His accident? That's right. He was supposed to meet his father for a rugby match. He was in a hurry, tried to pass a truck on the right as he was leaving the highway, and the driver didn't see him. Her voice trails off. I don't know how he managed it, not to die on the spot. That's really tough. And all that just to see a rugby match. Her smile is playful, full of life. I mean, ever since he was little, I tried to get him interested in soccer. And see what happened. A smile of dry amusement flickers across your pastor's face. Anyhow, he's been in a coma for weeks now. Grade 2, not a total vegetable, but not all that hearty either. So I had them move him to his place. Cruz and I are taking care of him now. Cruz? His fiancée. A lovely girl. Your pastor puts her hand to her mouth to smother a giggle. Totally inhibited. Totally inhibited, but sweet. Very religious. She prays in Spanish at his bedside every night. They've been going out for 2 years now. I still don't think they've... She blushes. Well, you know. A brief silence. You find yourself trying to think of something to say. How are you holding up? Your pastor doesn't answer right away. You're afraid, you're embarrassed there, but her face looks relaxed. I work in palliative care, you know. I spent the last 8 years of my life taking care of people who are going to die. The only question worth asking is, how long before they die? It helps keep things in perspective. In my son's case, there's still hope. And at least I can help. I mean, I know how to do it anyhow. For one thing, there's the day-to-day stuff, nails, hair, beard, it all grows like crazy. There's a lot of maintenance, like a gardener. Same for the teeth, we have to brush them every now and then. Because believe me, if Tillerton wakes up looking and smelling like a werewolf, we'll never hear the end of it. A smile escapes you, you pastor clearly seated in the rearview mirror and clearly pleased. But the biggest risk is not being able to move. Our bodies are meant to move. I know it's hard to believe when our alarm clocks go off, but it's true. Our blood circulation stops working correctly, our skin gets cold, loses all its elasticity. So we have to massage him as often as we can. And then there are the bed sores. Do you know what bed sores are? Don't really want to know. Good for you. It's a pretty nasty business. She pauses. You're sorry not to have anything to contribute, but she goes on quite naturally. Well, let me tell you something funny instead. Early tonight, when Cruz and I were washing Tillerton. Not exactly a pleasant cruise. My son is well over 6 feet tall, and Cruz is a cross between a matchstick and a Q-tip. So I was managing as best as I could, rolling them onto one side, then the other. She was trying to help, though the truth is it's pretty hard for her to take. I mean, it's all new to her, it can't be that much fun. She was muttering religious mumbo-jumbo to herself in Spanish, Dios mío and whatnot. And just as I was rolling Tillerton onto his paddock, guess what? He got an enormous erection. For once you start to laugh, your pasture joins in. The two of you enjoy a good long laugh. After a while, your pasture manages to catch her breath. A big old hard-on. How did Cruz react? First, she turned bright red, and then she pulled the sheet over him as fast as she could. Your pasture marks a short pause to emphasise what's coming. But it looked even worse. Just like Casper the Ghost, this is not an image I want in my head. Peals of warm laughter fill the air. For a moment you're happy, as if a weight had been lifted. You pull up to the address she'd given you. You stop the cab, she hands you the fare. Thanks for the conversation. The ride went by really fast. She reaches for the door and stops. You can sense she's really on edge. It's good. It's better to talk. It's pretty unusual in Paris to meet someone so warm. Good luck. She shrugs automatically as if she didn't understand what you said. Same to you. She shuts the door carefully, then walks away. Your eye follows her as she climbs the steps to the door of her building. A moment later, she's gone. You feel something servicing, dark thoughts, pictures, memories. The bed sores she talked about. You notice a newspaper on the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind, or the one before. You grab it and put it away. It could come in handy. You turn the key in the ignition and drive away. Nice to see our passengers are saving us so much money with these newspapers. Who shall we? Just because I'm intrigued, let's go and pick up the cat. You pull up to the sidewalk and wait for your passenger. Since it looks like a no-shot, you get out of the cab after a minute or two to smoke a cigarette. There's not much going on in this small town in the suburbs. There are a few apartments that have still got lights on. A sweet scent hangs through the air. Eventually you stub out your cigarette and get back into the car. You jump startled. A cat has managed to slip into the cab. Sitting on the back seat, staring at you intently. You sit there for a moment, considering whether or not to shoo it away. Just as about to wave your hand, the cat shifts positions and a slip of paper falls from its collar. You pick up the piece of paper and unfold it. A fragment of a map of Paris. The Saint-Lazare train station. You turn your eyes slowly to the cat. You seem to be expecting an answer. Are you going somewhere? The cat tilts his head to the side as if to say yes. You want to go to Saint-Lazare? Cat tilts his head again. Are you a dog? Cat slowly nods its head no. Your hands clutch the wheel tightly. What the hell is going on? Turn around to face the cat. Okay, fine. I'll take you. You let out a sigh. Because why not? Okay, fine. You start talking to yourself in low tones as if to balance the conversation. Normal. This is all perfectly normal. You start the cab, but cast a glance at the cat behind you. You're the one who ordered the cab. You start to laugh. A few minutes go by and you try to break the ice. Simple questions are probably the best. Everything okay? Neither yes or no, more of a plaintive meow. Are you running away from someone? The cat lets out a long plaintive meow. Another cat? Your owner? Again, a long melancholic meow. You nod your head. What happened? Was there a man? No answer. A woman? Was she mean to you? The cat seems to be uncertain. She was overly affectionate? The cat lets a string of insistent meows. Touché, that's it. She's too affectionate, and that's why you're running away. The cat is watching you with a steady eye. You're sure you're on the right track. You have to be careful like that. They suffocate you before you even know it. You nod your head. But you ran away. I mean, lots of people like you. You stop short. But you're just a cat. You roll your eyes behind you. The cat lets out a quiet, reassuring meow. What I mean is, well, we don't even know we're in a cage. We prefer not to think about it. We're never fully aware of it. You look at the cat. I must be crazy. I'm talking to her. You shake your head. You point to a light in the distance. That's Saint-Lazare. We'll be there soon. A few yards later you stop at the drop-off area in front of the station. The first train doesn't leave for another hour. Where are you going? The cat stares at you without making a noise. Let me guess. Saint-Lazare. If you were headed to the suburbs of Paris, you wouldn't have needed to come into town. So somewhere in the northwest of France. Brittany? Your passenger glares at you. Okay, right, not Brittany. The cat looks like a chopper meow. He wants to get out. Somewhere by the sea, huh? The cat is looking at you, meow. A very sharp sound, probably yes. A very hungry yes. For the fish, I guess. You check the time on the dashboard. It's time to go. To get a real customer. You try not to think too much about the situation you're in and hope that no one sees you talking to a cat. I just start saying the names of the cities and you meow and I hit the right one. You start listing cities in Normandy. The cat doesn't move a muscle. Cherbourg. The cat looks up. So it's Cherbourg. Getting close. Saint-Malo. Still nothing. I've got it. Deauville. Let me out of the light. You're smiling too. All of a sudden you're exhausted. Okay, come on. Time to say goodbye. You get out to the cab and open the back door. A pillar's appeared on the seat next to the cat. You sniff at the fare and more. Well, you are full of surprises, aren't you? I won't ask you where it came from. You smile and lean over to pet the cat. It leaps out of the car and dives between your legs. You can just make out its shape dashing up a flight of stairs and slipping between the bars of a gate. As you start the car, you remembered you were allergic to cats, but you haven't sneezed once. You pull out of the station. So, yes, just your friendly neighbourhood cat. Can I not click this one? No? Okay, we'll go for that guy then. Two teens are walking on the sidewalk. One of them has a huge white rat on his shoulder. You shudder. You pull up to the sidewalk and pick up the passenger who ordered a cab. You can just make him out, surrounded by 5 or 6 cops, not too familiar scene. Every so often, the low, ominous tones of an officer's voice make it to your ear. The circle of cops breaks up. You see your passenger. He heads over to the cab and get in. He slams the door and lets rip. Motherfucking cops. It gives you his address and you start the car. The passenger stares out the window that passes the road as if to calm himself. You take a quick look in the rearview mirror. Everything alright? Yeah, sure. They're afraid to lay a finger on us nowadays. Don't want to get blown up. An ironic half smile appears on his face, then immediately disappears. He knows a bad joke when he hears one. What a fucking pain in the ass. Can't go out without getting screwed by each and every one of those son of a bitches. If you're not wearing a goddamn beret, you happen to be wearing sweatpants, then yeah, right, you're a fucking hood. He smirks wryly and raises his voice to an octave. Your papers, please. He sighs, his voice back to normal. Yeah, sure. Shove your hands cock up your friggin' ass, buddy. Always the same old thing, isn't it? Your passenger looks up at you and lets out a bitter laugh. You can say that again. Even the Arabs treat us like shit when they're wearing a uniform. A slow smile appears over his face, and you know what's worse. He pulls out a paperback out of a checked pocket The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. They wouldn't believe it was my book. He returns to his pocket right away. For a second, he wondered if you imagined it. The first thing they asked me was where I had stolen it. You know, like there was no way I could own a book. Then the bastards took the book and flipped through it, every single page, to make sure I wasn't hiding anything, like cash or some other shit. He flinches, something in his features breaks, a crack has appeared, he's trying not to show it, but you see what's going on, you can't help it. The inner struggle, the humiliation, the sense of shame. It's just a book. Do you like it? He looks up. Yeah, it's kind of like a revenge story, like all the Hollywood movies with downloads without have to pay for a ticket, except that it takes place 200 years ago. And yeah, it's good. It really sucks what happens to the hero guy, and he spends the whole book planning his revenge big time. The guy's pretty messed up. He catches your eye in the rearview mirror. He realises it's not all worked up anymore. It's my girlfriend who gave it me. What else did she recommend? Well, believe me man, it was pretty rough at first. First she got me to read this book, Pride and something or other, some English book. Pride and Prejudice? Yeah, that's it. You read it too? I saw the movie, a long time ago. Pause. They made a movie? Shit, I should have watched it. I didn't get through the whole thing, but she didn't mind. After, she got me to read something by Balzac. After The Count of Monte Cristo, she really asked me to read this book. He rolled his eyes. By some Belgian woman, I think. You shrug. Who my girlfriend says wrote a book about this Roman emperor and his boyfriend, and it's really amazing. He laughs to himself. I bet not caught by the cops with that one in my pocket. Or by my friends for that matter. He looks up, his eyes shining. She forced me a little and then I realised that the Monte Cristo, he's one of us. I mean, his story is a lot like what goes on today. But I introduced her to new stuff too. There are these texts, rap lyrics that she really likes. You should see her putting on this show and all, but the truth is, she actually likes it. It's the same thing with reading, right? I mean, it had to be properly explained to me. I had to want to try it. And that was it, man. I was on my way. He looks down. Something seems to be bothering him. The only thing is, he hesitates. My girlfriend, she's a cop. Pretty weird, huh? She's 37, she gets me to read books for rich people and she works for the local police. He gestures vaguely towards some place behind him. I was just at her place now. Man, she's one hell of a woman. She drives me crazy, she's so... He doesn't finish his sentence. You pull up to the address given by your fare, he lets out a sigh. You know man, I don't know why I just told her all that. No worries. It must be a real bummer, all these guys telling you their life stories. The passenger passes you money for the ride. I have to go. I punch in early tomorrow. Pauses, and the time on the radio's LCD display. Or later on, should I say. A moment later, he vanishes into the night. Let's go. Finally, same one. We can finally go and get her. We probably should go and get this guy at some point as well. It does not like me being at the top of this map, does it? The next passenger getting your cab enters in the cloud of extremely heavy perfume. It's a well-known scent, one you often see advertised on the Champs-Élysées. The woman must be in her 50s, she has impeccable posture. The fur she wears around her neck must be worth several days' pay. She opens her mouth. Good evening. Before you start driving, I just need to tell you something very... She purses her lips, attempting to stifle the word that's about to come out, then raises a finger. Shit. Whore. She continues to look at you, the same smile frozen on her face. She just shouted gibberish at you, but her face wasn't budged. It's like she wasn't even aware what she said. She purses her lips even harder. Aye, doggy foreskin. What? She shakes her head. I am truly sorry. Please hear me out. You're so taken aback that you find nothing to say. I am suffering from a major emotional trauma. It seems to have triggered very strong verbal episodes. They're exhausting, to be honest. I hope you can understand. Please know that I don't believe a single word that I'm saying. She smiles. Tiny dick. It's my husband. She shrugs. Married for 25 years, 2 kids, a house on the coast, all sorts of fun plans for the future, and then a sad smile flashes across her face. Eat shit. She looks at you. He certainly did a job on you. My husband is a very Nazi rug muncher. Unique person. I don't know if I should put this on in the video, we'll see. But indeed, I'm sorry to say it now, he really hurt me. She grins for just a second. Here, I'm discovering how to live alone for the first time. At 50. Crazy, isn't it? Toilet brush up your ass. It's really not so easy. You bite your cheek to avoid laughing and start driving. With a bit of luck, you'll pass your remember. I won't say anything for the remainder of the ride. Remainder of the ride. She got me all flustered now. You'll pass your heaves a sigh. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. For a second, you don't know what she's talking about, but then, wench. Some days are harder than others. It must surprise people. Oh, it does. It's more the teasing. You see, cauliflower shade. She looks away for a second, disgusted by her own coarseness. Our neighbour's son. She shakes her head. It's a long story. They're expats, Chinese. She works for Chanel, I think, and he a big import-export company. I can't remember its name. Transatlantic sodomite. Something like that, anyway. She sighs. She's getting very annoyed with herself. Their only son used to come get me help with his French. Then from my husband and me. Now we're separated. Rugrat. He still comes around. But he films me. Oh, he's discreet about it, of course. He slips his phone into the front pocket of his blazer and films me. He must think it's funny. An old lady who swears and calls everyone. She stops, purses her lips. When she opens her mouth again, she's glassy-eyed. Maybe he even shares them with all of China. Shitty ass rugrat. Her mind wanders for a second. We don't really have any idea what goes on over there. My daughter says I might have become a internet star there. You raise your eyes to look at your passenger. The last syllable hangs in the air, oddly accentuated. Perhaps you're right. Her voice becomes screechy. You think? I don't know anything about any of that. It's beyond me. She raises her eyes abruptly to look at you. And plus, deaf pea. And plus, I'm not a good influence on this boy. He's learning swear words. That's no way to learn a language. Especially not French. The language of love, the language of poetry, of ballads. She smiles a very sad smile at you. Dick cheese. Her smile vanishes. That's why I no longer see my grandchildren. My son thinks it's better to wait until it passes. I think he's right. She stares right into your eyes. You can tell she doesn't believe what she just said. They don't support you? Yes, of course. Jean Roland is a dear. Vultures. But I don't want to bother him with this. He has his problems and I have mine. She lets out a little laugh, clearly designed to end the discussion. You're not far from your destination. In the back, your passenger is dazzling herself with perfume. The smell is dizzying, overpowering, oppressive. Does this bother you? It's quite strong. My apologies, she brushes briefly. I've been wearing this hairy-ass perfume for 25 years. It's such a part of me I don't even notice it anymore. It's the first present my husband gave me. It suits you. You can see the surprise in her eyes. She averts her gaze like she's trying to hide her feelings. Thank you, Russian whore. You pull up in front of a building. She hands you the fare but doesn't move. Everything okay? Yes, it's just... I'm always anxious about going home so late. No one is there. No lights on. Every noise seems suspicious. Flabby vaginal queef. She pauses. Could you wait until I'm home before you leave? Her voice suddenly very deep, has a tone that makes your hair stand on end. Sure. Thank you. Your passenger leaves the taxi and walks towards the lobby of the building. You watch at every move she walks towards the door meters between you and the door. You chose not to mention you do this for all your clients since the attack. Since you got hurt. Since you can't sleep like you used to anymore. She waves to you as the door closes. Just enough time to glance at the white marble and shiny copper stairwell. The door slams. Well, she was certainly interesting. And let's go and get this guy who's been on here waiting for a taxi for days. You recall that Balzac was put on the street, or was it Zola, or maybe Victor Hugo? You double park and wait for the next passenger to slide into the backseat. He looks at you, he appreciates you in your taxi, he gives you his address. You start driving. A few words are exchanged, however, taxis, traffic. Then you can tell it's coming. The inevitable conversation about the killer. Some bits of information, rumours, things overheard. You make a mental note of what you've heard. Who knows, it might come in handy. Your passenger doesn't make a sound for the next few minutes of the trip. It doesn't bother you, you have enough on your mind. Your investigation, the judge, bus it. You're overcome with a craving to smoke. You nod slowly and glance at your passenger. Calm and still, he seems far away. Everything okay? Yes, thank you. He slowly turns his head towards you and gives you an odd look, like he's disappointed you're talking to him. He watches you closely for another minute and turns to look back out of the window. You keep your eyes on the road. The silence becomes heavy. All of a sudden you feel a strange sense of camaraderie with your passenger. You look at him quickly in the rearview mirror. He doesn't look familiar at all, yet it's like you know him. A second later an outside light shines on his face at a weird angle. It looks like he's smiling. A few seconds later you drive down the street. He straightens up a bit. You park in front of the number he gave you. He pays his fare without a word. The door opens slowly and smiles at you. You can tell it comes from the bottom of his heart despite how tight he is. You're a really smart guy. You weren't expecting that. By the time you collect your thoughts, your passenger is already far away. He disappears into a building. A moment goes by before you turn the key in the ignition. There we go, and that's that one done. And okay, the game appears broken. We met NPC name. There we go, and we met Ludwig, a little friendly boy ghost. Yeah, so we know a French president died there, and we know how. Patricia. And our lovely cat Croaky. Who was running away from his possessive owner, Kada, who was racially profiled by the police. I don't think he taught me a colourful insult though. And yes, we can Count Monte Cristo for his girlfriend. And we're getting that bit twice. So I mean, it's still a kind of a buggy game this, but it's pretty fun. I mean, how are you guys finding it? How do you feel about watching it? Are you enjoying it so far? Are you enjoying the series? Don't forget to let me know down in the comments. Angelique with her Tourette's and Sunny thinks I'm a sore guy. Obviously I'm a sore guy. So that was night 4. Let's go and see what other clues we have now. I mean, he's definitely looking like the main one so far, isn't he? 3 victims that were not part of the police league, so they had to have police details, police gun. He joined in the right time. So yes, it should be interesting, and we're only a couple of nights away now from making our decision, and I'm pretty sure I've got a feeling who it is now, so we will see. Anyway guys, that is the end of episode number 4. If you have enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe and ring that bell, and until next time, I'm out. See ya.